Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a full bike check of the new build. So we have a 2019-2020 Rocky Mountain Altitude. First up we have the beautiful RockShox Lyric 2021. They have 160mm of travel. I'm running stock graphics because I just think the silver looks sick. We're running a 37mm offset, which is a bit unusual. 160mm of travel. Obviously the classic 27.5-inch wheels, which we will get onto shortly. I'm running it pretty low pressure just now, 75 psi. But we're still sorting out the pressures. I'm still playing around with the low and high speed compression and the rebound, of course, getting that set up perfectly. It's only been a few weeks of riding, but we are getting there, and it is such a good, like, the fork feels insane. As we move backwards on the bike, we've got the DPX2 Fox shot with the Kashima coating. Of course, you know if it's Fox, it's got to be Kashima. It's taken me a bit of time to get used to. It's not quite as plush as I thought it would be, so I'm still messing about with settings, changing around the air pressure, changing around the compressions as well, so we're going to see how that goes. It's meant to be a really good shot, so I'm going to stick with it and hope that I'm finding a setting that works really well for me. And if not, we're going to be changing this out for a RockShox Super Deluxe, obviously to match the forks, because I think that would just pull the whole bike together. Okay, so moving further back on the bike, we come to the drivetrain. Look at that, full SLX 12-speed drivetrain, and so far, it hasn't been great. The derailleur, it was a bit difficult to set up. It's a little bit, well, not difficult, but a little bit awkward to set up in comparison to the older Shimano derailleurs and the SRAM derailleurs even. And also, I've taken a fair few crashes in the last week or so, so it's a bit bent. There's a few dents on it, so I need to try bend it back into place, get it nice and true again. But, you know, we'll get there, we'll get there. The Rocky Mountain frame has some brilliant frame protection here to protect from rock strikes and similar, which I think is a really brilliant addition to the frame. I'm really enjoying knowing that my down tube is kind of safe without having to put any ugly frame protection on it. We're running the dropper. Oosh, there we go. This is a 170mm Brand X Ascend, so a classic dropper. I've gone for the cheaper end because by this point I didn't have any money left to spend on a nicer one. It's really sick, runs smooth, easy to maintain, no complaints at all. For the saddle, we're running the cheapest fabric saddle I could find at Evans. Cost me 30 quid. It's quite hard, but I'm getting used to it. Yeah, saddle's pretty standard. Moving to the cockpit, you know, a key area of the bike. Obviously I've got my Garmin mount, and then we've got a Superstar Components headset, which has been really solid so far. We're running a few spacers here, which may look a bit funny, but it's mainly just so that I can upgrade my stem to one with a bigger stack height in a few weeks. So when it's my birthday, hoping for a stem, fingers crossed, you know. We've got the ODI Elite Pro, are they Elite Pro or Pro Elite? Something, the higher end ODI grips, which are really comfortable. Absolutely love these, and definitely worth the money. Got classic nuke-proof Horizon alloy bars, the first generation of them, with a fun Funduro stem under there. I know it looks like a Wake stem, but it's not a Wake stem, it's a fun stem. Bit more brand savvy than to buy a Wake one, that would be quite embarrassing as it goes on a bike. But yeah, bars and stem getting changed out very soon for probably some carbon bars and probably a race face or worn-up component stem, not quite sure yet. It gets interesting when we get to the brakes because we're running the Magura MT Trail, front and rear. This means that on the front end of the bike, we have that beautiful 4-pot brake there, very similar to the MT5, but so far the front brake has been super powerful. I haven't had any problems with it at all. The rear brake is more similar to MT4 in that it's a 2-pot brake rather than a 4-pot brake, but again, I haven't had many problems with it. It needs a bit of a bleed because I had a few problems with it when I first put it on. But you know, that's standard. When I was cutting the hose, I just lost a bit of fluid. So I'm gonna get that bled soon when I get a bleed kit. As for rotors, I'm just running standard center lock Shimano RT, something RT66 rotors or something like that. They're quite standard. They're like the cheapest center lock Shimano ones you can get because I thought that was needed, you know? And obviously they're both tubeless with muck-off sealant. Big shout out to Muck-Off because obviously their sealant is just superior to anybody else's. Pedals, we're running the DMR Volt V2s. Beautiful pedal, already got a little bash on there as you can see. But yeah, these have been solid. I was running nuke-proof pedals before these. It's just something about them that feels better. They grip the shoe better, I think. They seem easy to find where you want to put your foot on. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, to me, they just seem really solid. The orange matches my headset, stem, top cap. So, you know, we had to go for the orange. I've gone for the DT Swiss M1900s. You can just about see the graphics under that mud there. Beautiful stuff. I didn't go for the E1900s because they're a little bit more expensive, and the M1900s have a slight weight advantage, and they've got very similar wheels. They've still got 30mm rims. They've still got straight pull spokes. They've still got the solid DT Swiss free hubs. Although I have heard that sometimes The front wheel needs new bearings, so I'm going to keep my eye out for that. The rear hub apparently has a slow engagement speed, but I haven't noticed too much, so I think it's okay really. So if you're in the market for a cheap set of wheels, definitely check out the DT Swiss M1900s. As of course, it's a Rocky Mountain, it's a beautiful colour scheme, it's all centrally routed, but the most interesting thing about Rocky Mountain bikes is this Ride 9 chip right here. Basically, you can slacken off your headset by moving the bolt down here, you can steepen it up as it goes up that way. So I've got mine in the slackest position just now. I'm still messing about this. I want to try a few more settings. I started off with it in the middle setting, and now I've changed it to slack just to see how it feels, and it is feeling a little bit better on the downhill, a little bit more composed. So I think that's everything. If there's anything I've forgotten, drop it down in the comments and I will reply to you. I'll probably do an update video in a few months once I've ridden it, and I'll give you another overview. But yeah, that is effectively the beautiful Rocky Mountain in a nutshell.